Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It is totally free. It does not cost anything. If there's something you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here is the Art or Temperance card. Could it be that we need moderation in our lives, right? We're going to have to put this card into some context. I feel like this is a lot of tinkering with something, and now we're ready to put it into action. Yeah. I feel like you've been testing something in secret. Now we're ready for the big reveal. Yeah. Let's see what we've got going on here. Well, there's more fire and water, right? This is now, this is the Queen of Wands. This is really fiery ambition that is, I think, learning to communicate our feelings, right? In a way that is perhaps a little bit temperate, right? That's a little bit easier to receive. Let's just say that. There's the Two of Cups. There's the Emperor, Six of Wands, Eight of Wands, High Priestess, the Eight of Cups, Two of Cups, Eight of Cups, trouble in paradise. Okay? I feel like there is a relationship in your life right now that we're having a difficult time communicating our feelings in a way that is being received well. Eight of Pentacles, Ten of Wands, yeah. I think, there's no way around it. I think that there is a desire for you to connect with somebody, but there's a disconnect, right? There's we want things to be together and harmonious. We want things to be good, but it feels like we're not able to get on the same page emotionally, right? I think there's a communication breakdown. We don't see any swords cards here. I feel that we've been going at a situation with a lot of fire. There's been a lot of arguments lately. What we need is a different approach. What we need is kind of gentler, softer energy with something. And I think the Queen of Wands really sums it up, because there's emotions in there. And this is I think, it's a difficult card. I'm sorry. This is water of fire. Right? This is fire's ability to flow like water. And in some ways, this is, what is fire that flows like water? Well, it's lava, right? It's not actual water. It's not helping anything, right? And so we feel like we're expressing our emotions, but it's really coming out as lava rather than sincerity or compassion. So I think we need to be aware of that. Now, I don't know if this is coming from you, if it's coming from somebody else. I'm getting an older male energy in your life. Okay. Older male energy, getting an H for a name somewhere. And I don't know who's really doing this. I think probably both of you, if I'm honest, right? But there's this need with this Temperance card. There's this need for everybody involved to try to approach the situation from a more gentle and more yielding, a more softer, more flexible position. Okay? Because I think now everybody gets together and there's tension, there's yelling, there's arguing, right? Because we see a lot of fire, but we don't have any swords. There's a lot of fire going back and forth, but there's not a lot of communication. And we're trying to. I think everybody involved in this situation is pretty frustrated. Okay, but we're not yet expressing ourselves in a way that is received well. Okay. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and it's going to go down right here. Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but I think it'll tie everything together and it'll give us our confirmation, okay? If at any point during this program you have a hunch about that card, go ahead and put it down in the comments. Yeah, let's exercise our intuition together. Let's make it a group exercise. Let's take a look around the room. For major arcana, we do have Emperor, Temperance, and High Priestess. It's kind of an instance here where this fiery kind of authority, this very like disciplined and strict and stern energy, very forceful, very hard, and very rigid, right, is not working. Over here we see something different. We see High Priestess, we see intuitive, we see gentle, we see flexible, yielding, we see receptive. This is asserting our will. This is kind of receiving the energies, right? And I think that in some ways we want to be able to express ourselves and have it be received. But if everybody involved thinks they're the emperor, well, then there's nobody who's listening. Everybody's talking, but nobody's hearing anything, right? So the Art or Temperance card here in the middle is kind of saying that, look, we have to sometimes flip the script. Sometimes we have to try a different approach because what we've been doing hasn't been working. This is a lot of fire in the reading, right? A lot of fire all right here. And then it's exhausted up there. And up here I think is interesting because this is now I always want to call it the Two of Wands, but it's the 10. And to me this is saying that, look, there's the potential here for you and this other person, I think older male energy, you and this other person to really get on the same page, get on the same team, and really work together as like a power couple. You're both very creative. You're both very energetic. You're both very fired up. Imagine if the two of you would stop working against each other and work together. How much you could accomplish, right? Because there is a lot of love there. There's already this idea of the two of you bonded together. Could be a friend, family member, could be a spouse, you know. Could be a parent even, that could be, you know, the older male could be dad or grandpa. Older sibling could be an uncle or something. The two of you would conquer the world together, but are conquering nothing when you're just butting heads with each other. You're fighting against each other, right? So since I'm talking to you, Gemini, and not this other person, the only thing I can say is you might want to try a different approach. Try a way of communicating with this person that is different from what you've been doing. Yeah. We have the Six of Wands up at the top, victory. Overcoming the challenges, right? And we could look at this as us defeating this person and us, you know, winning the argument of us getting our way. My will has prevailed, yes, right? Victory. Victory is mine, or victory is ours. Ours, in tandem, right? Cooperating, interdependent, rather than everybody for themselves. Okay? Because if we want victory, we want to overcome this challenge, this obstacle, we have to be aware of the team, right? Because if this win is just for us, we're never going to get there. We're going to get into this Eight of Wands. It's going to be confusion. It's going to be pandemonium, right? Because we won't be, everybody wants to win for themselves and themselves only, then there's just going to be confusion and fighting. It's just going to be chaos. Okay? And then we'll never get to whatever's over this rainbow, right? Whatever we kind of want, the pot of gold at the end of this. So we have to, yes, we want to win. We want this situation to be overcome. We want to have victory over our obstacle. And I think the way we do that is through love and teamwork, cooperation, gentleness, receptivity, intuition. And even with the Eight of Cups, we could look at that as saying, let's admit our part in this. Let's realize that, yeah, we made some mistakes too. Not all of them. It wasn't just us. It was everybody, right? It could be the whole family is involved here. It may not be just one person. And instead of using that to say, okay, well, there was once a lot of love here. Now it's kind of all just leaking out, draining. It's just become a nasty, swamp, right? It's just decay, and it's gross and gone now. Instead of looking at it that way, let's look at it in a more constructive way. Eight of Pentacles. Instead of focusing on what is decaying and corrupted and not working, let's focus on, okay, how can we restore things? How can we get things, functioning better? What small things can I do to help bring about this ultimate victory and teamwork, right? This cooperation. Because if we exist down here in the Eight of Cups, I think we're just going to be angry. We're going to be communicating our disappointments, right? Again, it's going to be like lava. And that lava is because we're focusing on the negative. We're naming all the things we don't like about everybody else in our environment. This is the card that's in our environment. Right? We're pointing out everything that is wrong in the world rather than finding solutions, let's be solutions oriented here. Yeah. And I think this reshifting your focus from the Eight of Cups to the Eight of Pentacles is automatically going to change your tactics. Your strategy is going to change. You don't even have to do anything. Just by shifting the focus here is going to change how you're interacting with everybody. And maybe this is a work thing. Maybe this is a family thing. Maybe that's the boss. Maybe that's the older brother. Maybe that's dad or grandpa. I don't know. But changing what we're focusing on. If we're always focused on what's wrong with things, then we just get mad. And it's hard for other people to want to listen to us because it just kind of feels like we're complaining. But we're not. We're expressing our feelings. We're saying, look, I don't like all of these things. The next sentence should be, so let's fix them. And here's how I think we can fix them. Sometimes we get stuck here. Sometimes we start off our conversation making the list of everything we don't like, and the other person stops us with their own fire, before we get to the solutions, before we get to the other half of our argument. I hate all this stuff, so here's what we should do about it. Sometimes we get stopped before we actually get to the solutions. Maybe we start with the solutions. Hey, can we try doing things this way in order to avoid all this crud, right? So it might just be a matter of swapping our perspective, swapping the way we approach this communication, so that maybe it's not so much that this fire energy is flowing out of. We think we're communicating our feelings, and we are, but we're doing it with fire, right? And then fire is usually met with more fire. Yeah. A lot of fire here. I like that we have our High Priestess here, because this shows me that you do have a connection with spirit. You do have a connection with the divine energy. And I think it's important that we fall back on that we rely on that. And this is the card really that is capable of listening and not getting offended, right? And if the other person can't do it, maybe it needs to be you. Maybe the other person is telling you everything they don't like. And typically you would stop them in the middle of that conversation and just spit your own fire back, right? Maybe we've got to listen to the very end to hear about the solutions and the teamwork that is being proposed. Now, it could be that this is coming from this other person, right? It could be that this high priestess is you really speaking from this authentic and heartfelt and this spiritual place. Not with fire, but with love, with spirit, right? With this kind of divine light. And so it changes the words that you use. It changes the look on your face, right? Changes your demeanor, changes your aura. This aura does not seem very approachable at times. There's a place for it, of course. This is useful energy. Right now in this situation, I don't think it's very useful for you. I think we've been overdoing it. And so I think this is a much better approach to things right now. Because this automatically disarms people, right? This automatically lets people know that you are open to solutions, that you are flexible and receptive, that you are filled with love and compassion, and that you're not trying to force anything, you're not judging, you're not trying to dominate anything. And so this really starts the conversation off in a very friendly way. Everybody can kind of relax, and say, okay, what do we do with this situation? I think everybody knows there's a swamp here. I'm pretty sure everybody can see that, right? So it's kind of like we don't need to start our conversation off running through the details of the swamp. Yeah, everybody knows it's there. I can see it. We're living it. This is in the environment, right? You can't miss it. It's right outside your door. So maybe just skip over that and go straight to, hey, if we work together, maybe we can focus on, these few details to start improving things. What does everybody think about that? Okay. Because I feel like there's a lot of potential here with this teamwork. And it might just be you and one other person. There is this bond between you. This Two of Cups, this is love. Okay, there's a lot of love in the room. And I think sometimes it gets pushed, it gets forgotten about. I almost forgot about it in the reading today. It gets forgotten about because of all the fire energy and because of everything that's not working so well. Things that are not working put us in this fiery mood where we forget to express this love that we really feel here. And if we start everything off with this foundation, look, we all love each other, we're all a family, we're all in this together. What can we do to make things better? How can we improve the circumstances? Here are my ideas. I think that we work together and we can kick this thing's butt, right? Whatever it is. Feels like it could happen in a workplace, your teammates at work, or maybe it's family too. But I think we need that different approach. Let's look at the mystery. Well, let's do one thing first. Let's consult the I Ching. I mean, this is a perfect situation for a hexagram from the I Ching. So we'll do one. I think that's the one. It says 33, retreat, right? Don't engage in the fight. Very fitting, very, very appropriate. Success, creating success. Constancy yields a small harvest. 33, retreat. Retreat means withdrawing from what can harm you as a way to keep yourself whole. When you retreat, you hide yourself away so that you won't lose yourself. In offering no resistance and creating no friction, retreating bears fruit in small, inconspicuous ways. What must you do to stay safe and whole? How can you change your relationships so they support your integrity? Well, this might be those small things, right? So that retreating, we don't want to cause any friction. We want to just make these little small changes the small fruits, right, that are being born here. So I think this is a very fitting hexagram. And the retreat, I think it really is the name of the game here. Don't engage in this battle anymore. Don't continue to look at it as it's either I win or I lose. Because if you win, everyone else loses. If someone else wins, you lose. And that's always going to keep us engaged in this battle. And we feel like we've got to fight. We got to protect ourselves. I'm wondering about this mystery card here. So let's keep this in mind, that we want to disengage from the battle and try to make progress in other ways that are maybe slower, maybe more inconspicuous, but I think will lead to a greater victory, a greater teamwork. Now let's look at this mystery card. I'm hoping for some very good news, right? I'm hoping for some really happy news. I want some water energy here. I want to see a 9 or a 10 of cups, 9 or a 10 of pentacles, 6 of cups, Ace of Cups, right? Maybe the Empress card. I want to see some happiness. I want to see some love, some celebration, maybe a 3 of Cups. If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Well, it's the King of Swords. The King of Swords is not so certain of things. This is like you retreated, right? And now you're coming back to the table to have a discussion, but you're kind of suspicious. You're not quite sure what to make of it, but you're willing to come back to the table and listen. Okay? And you're trying to hold off from getting mad, from letting that lava out again, right? We're trying to just hear what the other person is really saying. And I think the other person hopefully is making the same effort. So this at least is a start, right? A start of us coming back to the table, disengaging from the fight here, all this fire energy, coming back to the table with a willingness, with an openness, with a sense of love and compassion, a higher perspective, higher objectives, right? And trying to be solutions oriented. But coming to the table to have that conversation again. Yeah. But I think we need to withdraw first. I think we need to retreat, gather ourselves, tap into our love, tap into spirit, and go back to the table and listen in a calm manner. Yeah. And you'll solve this problem. You'll realize that all of you together can accomplish so much more than if all this infighting were not there. Okay. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's one down below. New readings for Gemini every Monday and Friday, 6 a.m. Chicago time. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It does not cost you anything. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Let me know how you're doing. Okay. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.